that voice in your head that reads things should just be like a very chill dude, you know? Because you could totally read something in a very like something that doesn't even mean anything in a completely different tone, and it just means something entirely different, you know? And a lot of people fall victim to that shit. That's why I fucking hate texting. I don't really like texting. Fuck Twitter. I think out of all the social media out there, Twitter's the worst one. Every time I'm on fucking Twitter, man, I open up the comments, right? There's some funny memes, but there's a bunch of band kids trying to make jokes. Everybody's trying to tell a joke. Nobody's fucking laughing. And then there's a bunch of like of these, you know, salesmen, aka OF girls, which, you know, I respect the hustle and everything. It's just like, it's just so annoying. It's so annoying. It's like there's ads, but for porn, but like you pay for it. And it's like some lady down the street. Like, I don't know, man. It sucks. It sucks. Fuck Twitter. I don't know. I prefer Instagram, even though that shit is brain rot. But I do prefer Instagram because there's a little bit more control in what you have in your feeds and algorithm. Even though you do see some cringe shit in your suggested reels, it's consistent with like what you're into, you know? I get like cyberpunk like art or some shit, or just funny memes and skate clips, of course. I love watching skate clips. It's probably my favorite thing to do. You know, shit like that. Twitter is just like, dude, who the fuck are you? Why should I care? Who's this jackass? What does he have to say? Kind of shit, you know. My social media. Should this be a video? I wonder. You know, speaking of social media, I permanently deleted my Facebook recently. You know, I permanently deleted my Facebook recently. I've had that since 2018, and I'm gonna be so honest with you. I felt liberated. It's not because like I barely used Facebook. I barely used Facebook. Barely. I mostly had it so that like I had like fucking distant family members stay in touch with me, but also friends I made in high school that I'm just not that close with anymore, and you know, everybody's living their own lives and whatnot, including me, which is normal. My closest school friends are just middle school friends at this point, and you know, they're on Instagram. They have me like everywhere I'm on, but when it comes to like high school friends that I don't like really go out my way to talk to or anything like that, I have them on Facebook, and it's whatever, man. I don't care. It's not even a bad thing. It's just I don't care. I don't care enough. It's fucking Facebook was just so ass when I was there. You know, every time I logged in, it just, you know, one of my high school friends shared something, and I don't give a fuck. You know, it was kind of cool though. People knew when my birthday was, and they would give me birthday wishes. But that's the most activity my Facebook would get on my timeline. I have like tried to reach out to some of my high school friends. Some was worth it. Some I completely not regret. It's just I had a funny ass experience. All right. So this is a high school friend of mine, right? And he was like, let's just say it's not bad, but he was just really, really into anime, right? And he is one of those like Ben Shapiro, you know, watching Andrew Tate watching motherfuckers. At least he grew out to be that later. He had a really rich father. Really like spoiled kid, ignorant too. But I recently, like, not recently, but during the time, I tried to rekindle a friendship with him because we were anime club buds, right? And fun fact, I was an anime club regular. And during senior year, I was president of the anime club for one day. And I quit that shit because some really smelly, really stinky, nothing against furries, but she was one of those furries that like wore like a tail and ears and shit and pretended to be a cat. She really wanted me to put on Black Butler, and I felt really weird because she was really like touchy and flirty, and you know, I just didn't know her like that, you know. And then I'm gonna be real with you. I think that was the time when I stopped like really fucking with the anime, I guess, community in my high school and shit. So I quit. I was president for one day and then I quit. And then I'm getting a little off track, but anyway, we were anime club, but you know, and then he became anime club president. This guy was a fucking goon. So I remember straight up, we're in a Discord voice call, right? And this was with my friends at the time and shit. And I guess we were talking about like hookers and whores and shit. And I don't know about you, I wouldn't really like go for a fucking prostitute. I just think like it defeats the purpose. But he kind of like willingly, with his voice, raised his hand. It sounded like he raised his hand, and he was like, he raised his hand in chat, right, with his voice. He was like, I fucked a hooker. And then my group was like laughing at the way he said it, and it was funny because like we're all like talking over each other and shit. And then he was like in the back, and you could tell that he like really wanted to say it. He was like he really wanted to say it. And then like when he finally got to like the room and shit, he just like I did one. And he just went on about it. He went on about it and shit, about like how he went to South America, right? And went to like Brazil to go to cheap whorehouses and fuck hookers with his cousin. So he fucked this hooker with his cousin, right? I guess what he said, he emphasized this, by the way. He emphasized that he went first and his cousin went second, right? And then he proceeded to send a picture of the hoe he fucked in the group chat. And then you could see like a bunch of like on her stomach, like cuts, like C-section cuts and everything, you know, fake tit marks, a lot of weird diseases and shit on her stomach, you know. And I was like, dude, you wildin', but also like I wasn't, don't get me wrong, if you do that shit, it's all you do you, you know, you do you. Like if that's your way of fun, you do you. I'm not judging. I just had to ask, like, hey man, did you make it out alive? Like obviously you did make it out alive, but did you make it out like fucking clean? And apparently this dude had an STD for like a week or some shit. I don't even know. He just told me that he had like bumps on his stomach or like his crotch area. And I was like, did you go to the doctor for it? And he was like, no, I didn't go, or some shit like that. But I thought that was the most wild shit, dude. It was the most wild shit. And then his humor was really weird. He really wanted us to watch the movie Cuck. He really wanted us to watch the movie Cuck with him. So it's a movie called Cuck. And he found this like one scene of the movie where he's like really racist against black people. And then black people beat him up or some shit. He found that really funny. And he also found like pedophilia funny, and this is kind of like where I dropped him, because he unironically thought like somebody admitting a crime that they did, you know, pedophilia, was funny. And somebody admitting like their story of shit about like touching a little black kid, he thought that was funny. So that was plenty of reason to drop him, you know, in my opinion. So I ended up dropping him, but I'm not even done. Like, fuck this dude. I was once, like, this is before I knew. Not before I knew, but before, like, we went through all that shit, right? The whorehouse in Brazil incident. Not incident. I'm making it sound more dramatic than it really is. It's really like a whatever as memory. I'm just going through it right now because I'm processing it and I'm going through it right now. Again, I'm playing back the flashback in my head. But I was once in this dude's car, right? I invited him out to eat sushi with me because this was, I think, after a funeral. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but it was post funeral, and for good old time's sake, I wanted to like hang out with him, have sushi with a bunch of friends of mine, and as well as him, right? So this dude, right, he just goes around complaining about, like, just poor shaming every fucking car he sees, right? Because he drove like a really nice, rich, luxury car or some shit. I forgot what it was, but it looked nice. Very luxury. I called him Mr. Bitches or some shit, you know, bougie ass motherfucker. You know, just joshing him a little bit, having fun. I don't know. He took it as a compliment. You know, I didn't mean it bad. But he was just going on about how, like, he fucking hates homeless people, especially, like, of the black and browns. And he called them fucking normies. He called them all normies, and he was like, oh, man, these fucking normies, they're always in my way, always snaking me. You know, just shit like that, you know? Like, I'm like, dude, it's just a homeless dude trying to cross, man. And like, this dude is... Like, I live in Vegas, and Vegas traffic is bad, but this dude, like, kept on making, like, little narratives in his head about, like, fucking cars, especially, like, black and brown drivers. By the way, this dude is of Latino descent, you know, so it's just some, should I use this term? I don't mean in a racist way, but he was, like, very, like, Uncle Tomish. You know, very Uncle Tomish. And I don't mean that in, like, he should act Latino, you know? It's just, like, he was self-hating. He was self-hating, you know? But, yeah, he was just going off about, like, how all these fucking cars around him are normies. They don't like his favorite anime. They don't collect the same Funko Pops as him. The homeless don't collect the same Funko Pops as him. Just shit like that, basically. It was so, like, annoying to hear. And then I had sushi with the dude. It was pretty alright. I mean, he barely contributed to the conversation. We had a good time. Left. I got full. I always have a good time with sushi. It's one of my favorite food. Like Japanese food in general, it's just sushi is very popular, and there's a lot of options here in Vegas. Honestly, if you come to Vegas, I highly recommend just going to our local Chinatown, Spring Mountain. For a ton of good, cheap restaurants. Really good. But yeah, man. Such a like unique experience I'm never gonna forget, dude. Just this dude just going off around, man, just driving and shit. He was like, his driving wasn't that good either. He was like very shaky. He was very nervous, and he was like, oh, these normies, they stress me out. You know, I'm like, chill, man, chill. And then this was post chat, right? I'm trying to think, man. Oh man, when I knew him in high school, man, he was like really fucking cringe. I remember, this is kind of sad. I had a memory of this lady, right? This young, she's probably like 15, 16, a high schooler. she was just going off, and I didn't know the whole conversation. I just kind of like tuned in when she just did this, but she was just going off about how she doesn't really care about people touching her. She doesn't really care about her personal space. She doesn't like even like see. She only sees her body as her body and shit, basically. So what it ended up as is like some kids being like, oh well, you really don't care about being touched. Can I touch your boob? And then it ended up to a bunch of like a group of kids around him, right? Around her, just taking turns touching her tits and shit. And then this fucking the dude I'm talking about, right? The dude who's like really angry at fucking normies in the fucking freeway, right? He started touching her titties, and I caught him, right? And it was just a thing that I can't unsee. It was really cringe, because not even because of like he was touching it, right? Again, I'm a very desensitized person. I'm a very desensitized person. I've seen a lot of shit. This dude was just like, oh yes, oh. He was making those noises. And I remember, okay, actually, this unlocked the memory. Oh, this was before the fucking group chat. I'm going too deep in this, man. But fuck it, it's kind of funny. We're playing King of Fighters 2002, old a limited match. It's a really fun fighting game, right? I was getting a bunch of my friends into it, so that way I'm not that good at King of Fighters 2002. I'm not that good at King of Fighters in general. I just find it. I'm definitely a Tekken guy. But I just find it fun, right? So I was getting him into it and shit. He was going through the roster and he was like really confused about like who to pick. So he ended up picking Mai, and he fought my friend at the time. And I was there, right? I was like, they were streaming matches and I was like watching. If you don't know the character Mai Shiranui, she's got huge titties. Comically huge, right? And she usually has like jiggle physics. Like she had like legit, her sprite animation is like she does this, right? But like she has like a fan and fuck not. But basically what it looks like is, you know? And then how this dude was like fighting my friend, and he was doing this unironically, by the way. He was just like, oh, so big, oh. Yes. So I want you to imagine like you fighting some random person, right? You haven't seen in a while, or like just a random, like might as well be new, right? Find this dude in an online game. You're trying to have a fun time, and this dude's just making weird ass fucking perverted noises. You know this damn well. This motherfucker, he's full like bricked up. You know, I mean like the new version, by the way, bricked up, not the old version. Just down bad, right? And you're hearing him, right? You're hearing him enunciate like these sounds and shit, right? And you're trying to fight him and have a good time. It makes things very awkward. His self-awareness is very low, and I think it's still low. I don't know the dude. I have ran into him. I'll get to that later though. But fuck, dude. Oh god. He had like a team of like I think Mai, Blue Mary, and Shermie or some shit. I could be wrong. Then again, this is like something that happened a long ass time ago. But yeah, he was just like, oh, so big. They jiggle. Not even as a joke. And my friend was so weirded out, rightfully so. He was just so weirded out. I was laughing my ass off. See, the thing about me is like I laugh my ass off at things first, and then I process things later. And then I think about like how weird it actually is, you know? But my first initial reaction is just to like laugh my ass off because I can't believe like how I can't believe it's happening in front of me, you know? I'm like processing. I'm like, dude, this can't be fucking real. He has to be doing a bit, you know? But he wasn't. Especially knowing this dude. It's like unironically bringing a hentai Yu-Gi-Oh mat to a Yu-Gi-Oh card shop and then like fighting a dude, you know, that you just don't know like that, you know. That's kind of what it was. It's very awkward. You can't ignore it, and you can't like. It's one of those things that like, it's so awkward. You can't ignore it. You want to stop it. You can't stop it. You just let it happen, and it sticks with you forever, you know, in your memory. That's what it was for me, and my friend at the time. So anyway, I live in Vegas. In Vegas, it's a big city, but it's also a small town, right? So you run into a lot of the same folk, right? Same folk. So there's a rave party, right? And I had a good ass time. I got drunk as hell there, right? Good ass time. Rave party. It was for Anime Expo Las Vegas 2023 after party, right? So I went there, had a good ass time. It was like PlayStation Home in real life, man. If you guys remember the Konami Penthouse, it was exactly like that. You know, a bunch of pretty cosplay girls, you know, like dancing around and shit, having a good time. A lot of cool DJs and fucking. I'm not really big into. I mean, I am. I just like this, whatever's playing right here, which is DDR music, which was cool though because they played like a lot of Eurobeat and DDR music, and I really fucked with it. And I also thought the crowd was fun because there are people who went to like an anime expo. That also had a fighting game tournament, you know, and I went there for the Tekken tournament. But after a few drinks and shit, like I forgot how much I drank. My friend was with me. I was enjoying the music. I was dancing my ass off. Had a lot of fun time. Like had a lot of fun basically. I remember Cowboy Bebop cosplay girl like even like fucking dance with me a little bit or some shit. But I also could be fucking gaslighting myself. I don't know if that happened. I was that drunk. But I do know that this dude that I'm talking about, you know, he showed up. He went to this expo too. And he went to the after party. He saw... And my friend that I went with doesn't know anything about, like, what we had before. Like, that I dropped him and shit. So... he willy-nilly just like, oh, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a long time. Hey, Wicked Plastic, do you remember this dude? And I was like drunk as hell, and I was dancing my ass off. I'm gonna do a really bad dance, but I was just right here, right? Just like doing this shit, you know, where the fuck this is, right? And then I see him, and I was like, hey, what's up, dude? And I was like fucking drunk as hell and shit, right? And then I just kept doing this. Like, that's all I remember. And I remember him doing it back at me. So we were just dancing like this and shit. And then I just straight up told like my friend, hey man, fuck this dude. And I pretty much told him like everything that I'm saying right here. And despite all that, because I think my friend was also kind of drunk too, but he was getting drunk off of some of my drinks, you know, because I'm a homie, and you know, I'll let you drink some of my drinks if you don't want to buy one, so that way you can get kind of drunk with me. You won't get as drunk as me because, you know, I bought the drink. I'm gonna have the whole thing, but you're gonna get drunk with me to a degree, at least buzzed. You know, I'm a real ass homie for that, but. Yeah, man, like, they just chatted up. And this was, like, late into the show. It was, like, 3 a.m. And it was very convenient because I didn't really want to hang out with the dude, you know? Dude wouldn't leave. I really wouldn't acknowledge him after I said, hey, fuck this dude. You know, and then, like, I just didn't give a fuck enough to, like, start anything. So I was just, like, I was having a good time. Of course, I confronted him. I'd say that's confronting him. But I went back to, like, do my own shit because I was just that drunk. So my friend was also really awkward about it. He talked to him a little bit here and there. It's just because he wouldn't leave and fuck off. I think he came alone, which is okay. I go to things alone, too. But, God, dude, it's just wild, man. Wild. We left at 3 a.m. I think we hit up a 7-Eleven after at 4. And we finally got home at like 5 or 6. And yeah, dude, that was a fun ass time. I'm not going to Level Up Expo this year. I'm going to Sick New World this year instead. But I would love to go to the after party again. That was very fun. Hopefully, I don't run into that dude again. I doubt that I'm not gonna run into him like Sick New World. But Vegas is one of those like places where you just meet the same people, you know, because it's a big city, but it's also a small town, community-wise. Anyway, I talked way too much. I might as well make this a video. Point is, it's not always a good idea to reconnect with your high school friends. Honestly, like, sometimes you just gotta leave shit in the past, or just, like, be okay with the fact that, you had what you had, you know? I mean, it's always cool to reach out if you fuck with them like that, but, like, when it comes to people that you, like, want to talk to more back then, don't feel too bad about it, because look at my experience. I mean, it's not this is probably a very unique experience. It's not gonna happen to anyone else like that. If you have a similar experience, let me know down in the comments, or like fucking make a video about it or some shit. I don't fucking know. Whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, that was such a weird and unique and really unpleasant experience I don't really want to go through again. It is funny though. Yeah, man. He also used to call like call everything like based and not based, red pilled, not red pilled, you know? One of those motherfuckers. I think that's one of the most passed around archetypes on the internet, but it's so wild meeting them in real life because they are just so awkward, man. They have no idea how to like socially interact, even in a minimum degree. I don't mind if I can tell that you're awkward, you know, it's cool, it's perfectly human. But dude, oh.